guys? It's May 26th. It's a little early to be starting routines. Maybe it's late for some of you guys, I don't know, but I've actually come in here to an area that I've come to love over the past 3 years. 3 years ago, it didn't produce a lot. 2 years ago, it had a ton of activity right in this area, and I'm going to get to why I believe that is here in a minute. But last year, it also didn't produce a whole lot of great pictures early. But the reason I like this spot is it's got so many features to it that I feel like draw these deer in. For instance, you can see back here behind me, you've got the field right here, along with this beautiful looking little secluded pond. The cool thing about this pond is it doesn't show up on any topo maps. No matter what image you use, you can't see it from aerial imagery because the leaf actually span across it. So you really got to walk up on this thing to know it's here. And the cool thing about it is that this spot normally will produce really well all the way from July to that 3rd or 4th week of September going into October, because you see these big red oaks, they drop a lot of acorns right here. And luckily on my way in, I was able to find a couple of pods or beans on the ground. So I was kind of worried that it could be corn again 2 years in a row. I do believe that's why I didn't get a lot of great pictures last year, was because this wasn't an early season destination for bucks. I had a lot of does right here. But I actually had a Tasco in this tree back here behind me. I climbed up about 12 feet, angled it down. I'll show you guys some of those pictures right now. I had a ton of great bucks on that camera. And the reason I'm setting this cell camera in here so early this year is because I was burned big time 2 years ago with just constant great buck movement in this area all the way from like August through like the middle of October. And I did not come in here to get that camera till the first week of November. And that's the reason I'm in here today. But I've actually got some mineral right here. I'm on the edge of public. The public is that way so far. I've got access to this private right here. I'm fixing to clean this up, make a good mineral site. I'm going to clear all of these logs out in front of me because I didn't do that last year and I had a ton of pictures of squirrel. I'm also going to set this cell camera up in a way that I know the battery's going to last. I'll show you guys that here in a minute. But for now, I'm going to get working on cleaning this up, and we'll set the cameras up in just a minute. I actually like to carry it into these gallon bags because I hate carrying the big bucket, and they're like that perfect serving size. So this right here actually covered this entire little spot that I've had cleaned out. And I don't really like dumping it straight on the ground. I also don't like using straight mineral, but if I'm going to use mineral, I'm going to use Lucky Buck. Had a lot of good luck with it. I actually mix it with my salt and the other trace minerals that I normally make up. This year I didn't even fool with it. Bought 2 buckets of Lucky Buck. We're going to call it good. So I've got mixed feelings about these Moultrie mobiles. I had it on my private property out in McLean County, Kentucky, and it did okay. The thing is like these things are so sensitive to signal, like they have to be in a decent area, and I'm kind of worried that this one is actually not going to be sufficient out here, even though I've got great signal with AT&T. It's a Verizon camera. So the big thing with any cell camera is making sure that you have adequate signal for that carrier in that area, or you're going to be very, very upset. And you can't blame it on the camera, and you can't blame it on the company. You can only blame it on yourself. My favorite cell camera is actually Tacticam, but this is kind of an area that anybody could kind of walk in here and from the public and see this camera. So what I'm actually going to do is just put this one here, and if somebody steals it, congratulations. Just going through all the steps right here to make sure this thing is set up, formatted. Let this thing format the SD card, and you can see it blinking right there. So right now it's formatting the SD card. I've got 12 brand new Energizer lithiums in here. Card is formatted, so now I'm gonna, I think you hold this for, I think it said at least 5 seconds, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna take a picture and send it to the app, and it's also gonna let you know what kind of signal you got. About a minute and a half went by. It's got full bars of everything. That is such a good feeling, considering this is the only camera that I brought in here. So get this set up on the tree. Might have to get me a camera stick to put behind it, as always. I normally don't like to use the factory straps. I'd like to use tie wire. It's just a lot less noticeable. But so is a giant box on a tree with an antenna on it. So get that set. Alright, so like I said, it's May 26th. You're thinking, man, you're gonna have to come all the way back in here and replace the batteries in this thing. So this is what I've done, is I've set this camera up to where it's taking a lower resolution picture, which is, I've set it can go from, like, I don't know what the first one was, but then there's 8, 20, and 32. I don't need that super high resolution picture. I also don't need it taking 40 pictures a day. So this thing's job is to find a buck to hunt. So I've got this thing set up over this mineral now, and I've got it set on every 5 minutes it'll take a picture, and it only transmits the pictures one time a day, every 24 hours. So it's probably only going to take 5 to 6 pictures a day, hopefully. Once it gets closer to season, I can go into my app, I can change that to where it takes a higher resolution picture where I can get a better look at the deer. I can make it take pictures more frequently, and I can make it take pictures and send them to them on demand. But I'm not going to mess with any of that for months to come. And another thing that could happen is nothing show up here, and that's fine and dandy. I'll lick my wounds, I'll come get the camera, and I'll keep searching until I find another one. But as for now, I'm really excited about this setup. So pull up my Moultrie mobile app. There we go. My wife sent me a snap. Okay, so it says it's got 53% signal strength. Battery's great. Firmware is updated. Camera battery's full, and the SD card used 0. So that being said, I'm thinking with this water source, the beans that are going to start growing here soon, paired with this mineral site, that lucky buck in it, I could leave this camera here till probably mid-October, and it should be good depending on how regular I start getting a bigger buck coming in here. Hopefully I do. But this is what I like to do as far as setting up a cellular camera super early. Use mineral, use advantages like water source, food sources like beans, and turn your camera to a setting where it's not going to burn your battery, and you should be set for the entire summer. And now once the bucks start coming in here, you're not coming in checking SD cards, you're not burning battery nonstop, and you're not leaving your scent everywhere around. It only takes a couple times of bumping a mature deer to completely ruin it. They will leave the country, and you'll be sad, like me most years. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching.